Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Have you ever wondered why your black and white images just don't pop like you want them to? Well, I'm going to show you how you can change all that. Continue watching this video to get the amazing results like I achieved with this image. And today we'll be editing this image up on the screen and we'll be achieving the same results. Well, tag along with me and I'll show you how it's done. And here we have our image open in Adobe Camera Raw. Lightroom is just the same if you're using it. And the best thing to turning black and white into fine art is first by taking the shot in long exposure on location. So we're going to start by lowering the highlights somewhere there, not all the way down. We just want some more light in the sky. And I'll be increasing the shadows just a touch. Always check your histogram, make sure everything is spread out evenly. Now I'm gonna hold down my Alt key and move the white slider to the right to check if we have any clippings. Your screen will turn black and you can see you have clippings on the right side of the histogram. They turn white when your images are blown out, so just dial it down a bit. We'll do the same for the blacks. Hold down the Alt key and we'll see where the blacks are and redial it down so we don't have any blacks showing. We just have a few here, doesn't matter, and they're not actually pure black. Next, I'm going to increase the contrast to around there, and I'm going to reduce the exposure slider again until we evenly balance the histogram. Now here comes the best part for turning images into fine art, is by using masking. And the first mask we're going to use, head over to the right side, click on your masks, is the linear gradient. And we start off with the sky. Lower it down to about the horizon. We're covering the buildings here on the left and right side. So what we need to do is go over to the right side, click on these three dots and intersect mask, which is the linear gradient, with the sky, and press select sky. And now you will see the mask will be removed from the buildings. Give it time to render, and there our mask is removed from the buildings, and we can just adjust the sky. Reduce the exposure to about somewhere there. I'm going to create another mask, another linear gradient, and I'm going to place it again to about there. I'm going to click on the three dots again and intersect mask with sky, because we've just covered a bit of the mask. And I'm going to reduce the highlights a bit more to about there. I'm going to use another linear gradient, but for the foreground. We have a dark patch on the left side corner, so we're going to just tilt the mask to about there. So we evenly balance the foreground as we're reducing the exposure. I can tilt it a bit more and raise it a bit more. And I think we're done with the linear gradient. I'm going to check my before and after. Click on this eyeball. That's the before without the linear gradient. And this is the after with the linear gradient. Now the image looks a bit flat, has no life in it. So we're going to do another radial mask, another mask but a radial. And I'll be going over, placing it across the buildings. I'm going to move it out of the picture, the center bit, and just raise. Make sure your feathering is up to 100. And I'm going to increase the exposure just a tad to about there. I'm going to do the same for the left part of the image on the left buildings. A radial gradient. And I do the same like I done on the right side. The center part on the outside. I'm going to increase the exposure also to about there. Next, I'm going to place another radial gradient, and we're going to place it over the yacht. Just about there. And we won't go so far with the exposure. Open it up a bit more. And it should be okay. Next, I'm going to do once more a radial gradient. And I'm going to place it over the center of the image on the horizon. And here we're going to slightly increase the exposure so the viewer's eye gets drawn to the main subjects, which is the yacht and the buildings on the side. That should be okay around there. And now I'm going to use another radial gradient, and I'm going to place it just over here because the light source, the sun, was rising on the right side here, and I'm going to place it somewhere there. You have to use your imagination when doing masks. You don't want the image to seem unreal. I'm going to place it over there. And I'm going to increase the exposure to about there. I'm going to use another radial gradient, and I'm going to place it on this side. Somewhere like this. Open it up a bit more and increase the exposure. We're soon ready. I'm going to use another radial gradient, but now I'm going to place it in the middle, and here we'll be inverting the mask
as we'll be creating a vignette. I'm going to invert it on the right side, this square box with the circle in the middle. And there we're going to reduce the exposure to about there. Next, I'm going to hover over these masks, the ones I done before, and I'll be increasing the exposure on the buildings just a bit more. For the next one on the left side, just a bit more. And then I'm going to increase the other radial masks also. That one just a bit. This one, because since we done the inverted mask, the vignette, we can see if we can increase the exposure of the previous masks, but we don't want to overdo it. I think we're about ready. I'm going to go out of the masking. I'm going to reduce the image and take a step back and have a look. What I think I'm going to do next, I'm going to go down to the curve tool. Don't shy away from the curve tool. Just make sure you're doing subtle movements. And I'm going to click on these two S-shaped lines here. It will open up the highlights, lights, darks and shadows. And I want to increase the lighter part of the image around here. We're going to give it some life to the image because it looks a bit flat. And I'll be increasing the exposure to about there. I'm going to do the same for the lights, I mean. And I think that's about ready. Well, I think that's about enough for editing on this image. And I'm going to show you the before and after we use the masks. This is before the masks. It's just a simple lifeless black and white image, and now I'm going to show you the after with the masking, and you'll see the amazing difference. And this is with the mask, before and after. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure to click on my other videos on editing, black and white and even fine art. Thank you guys, and see you one more time, before and the after. Thank you and see you.